This is Neil Schneider for MTBS-TV at E3 Expo 2014, and one of the things I like when I go to shows like this are the surprises. To my immediate right is NYChriS G, who's a Marvel vs. Capcom champion, and to his right is Sherri Jennix, who of course is one of the best, if not the best, when it comes to Street Fighter 4. Am I correct?
Best female. One of the best females.
Well, do you compete against men as well?
Yes, I do.
And do you kick their butts too?
Some of them, most of them. Not all of them.
So why don't we get started with something very simple. How did you get into competitive gaming?
I've played video games my whole life, but I never knew that there was a scene larger than me playing with my friends. So one day I started going to Chinatown Fair, and it's a big arcade, very old school arcade. And I found out that there was a lot of people who did the same thing as me. And after a while, I started loving fighting games, especially fighting games. And I just kept going. Just kept going, CF, kept playing, and now I'm here.
And what about yourself?
I actually started playing about 5 years ago. I don't really have a history or background in it. I just went to the arcade to play Initial D with some of my friends, and then they just so happened to have a Street Fighter tournament the same day. So I kind of just talked to the people there, and then they invited me to another tournament, and that's kind of where it all started.
Now, you don't have to tell me how much money's involved. It's okay, I won't ask such a question. But is it a money-making venture to be a champion in gaming as you are?
Yes and no. The average person who is trying to be a professional gamer, it's hard because, especially in fighting games, you have to make top 3 or top 8, and then there's everybody else. In League of Legends, there's higher amounts of money, so they can divide that better than fighting games. But you can, if you're really good at it, you can do it.
I would think that, growing up, I played video games a lot too, and I would look for any excuse possible to say, hey, I made money out of this, so my parents would stop saying, stop playing video games. I thought you would have jumped at that excuse for getting into this, but nonetheless. So why are you champions at the games that you're playing? Is there something about those games that's very appealing to you? Maybe we could talk first about Marvel vs. Capcom.
Marvel vs. Capcom allows freedom, allows creativity. The game consists of using 3 characters as a team. So for me personally, I like using my 3 characters, and I like using my team. So the synergy, that's what they call it, it allows me to be as creative as possible and win at the same time. So I'm doing it my own way, as opposed to how everybody is supposed to play a game.
Excellent, excellent. And what about Street Fighter 4? Is that something really appealing to you as a game that makes it that much easier to be as good as it is, as you are at this?
Street Fighter, I feel like, is a very good mental game. So I think the fun aspect of it is when you play other people, everybody thinks differently. They all have their own strategies. I think it's really fun, like learning and figuring out how other people think.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, one of the big themes at this year's show, now, of course, I'm behind us are these wonderful gaming headsets, but also, we're seeing a lot of virtual reality stuff and immersive technology stuff on the show floor. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, what are your thoughts on where things are headed with VR? Is it something that appeals to you?
I'm actually really interested. While I was sitting here playing, I was watching the guy with the suit on, and he's interacting in different ways with the actual video game. It looks really interesting, and I would like to try it myself.
Excellent. And yourself?
Looking at it, ever since we were kids, we would see movies and would do this type of thing, and we were always waiting, maybe in the future this could actually happen. We would get to play games in virtual reality and all that. And, with Oculus Rift and all that, I think it's amazing how far we've gotten with technology.
And I don't know if you'd be prepared to answer this yet, because it is really a formative market. But when I think of Street Fighter 4 and Marvel vs. Capcom, we've been living in this range of games that people have become very familiar and very good at. And now we're going to start moving into this immersive world where it's a new type of gameplay. Do you see a future where we're going to see new types of champions in gaming because of these technologies?
Of course. Where there is a will, there's a way. Whenever something comes out, there's always going to be someone that's good at it. I personally, if there was a special fighting game in the virtual reality world, I would like to play that myself. Become one of the best.
Excellent, excellent. And your thoughts on this? As someone who plays competitively, do you think we're going to start seeing a future where we're going to see new types of games and new types of competitive nature in this?
Yes, I completely believe so, because I think something like that, you know, it's not just sit at your computer, sit in front of your console and play. It's something where you have to be active, you have to submerge yourself in this, and I definitely think a lot of new champions will come from that.
Excellent. Well, it's an honor meeting you both. It's wonderful that you were here at the E3 Expo. I hope you're having a great time here as well. And thank you for joining us. This is Neil Schneider for MTBS-TV at E3 Expo 2014. We will, of course, be back with more. Thank you for watching.